So due to unforeseen circumstances, of course, the games at the weekend weren't able to go ahead, but as of recording right now, it does seem as if the midweek fixtures will be fulfilled. So in that case, we are back to go ahead and preview all the action, which is coming up in midweek. As always, guys, do get your thoughts in the comments down below. Championship should be returning in midweek, and I want to get your guys' score predictions for these games. As always, link to the Patreon is down below. Here is how the current prediction league is shaping up. If you guys have been keeping tabs on your individual scores, you'll see how you fit into this table currently. But without any further ado, let's hop into the action. So kicking things off with Blackburn up against Watford at Ewood Park. Blackburn certainly could do with returning to form in their home matches. They have lost their last couple of games at Ewood Park, and this one is going to be a tricky test against this Watford side, albeit a Watford side who have been very draw heavy on the road so far this season. Of each of Watford's 4 away matches so far this season, all 4 of them have been played out as draws, and I think that that's how I'm sort of favouring this game to go as well. Blackburn 2 goals against Bristol City, but defensively a little bit slack. If Watford come with their attacking prowess in this game, they will cause this Blackburn side some problems, but still feels as if Watford have another gear to click up into, especially in those away matches. So score prediction from me, I'm going for a 1-1 draw in this game. Next then we go to Huddersfield up against Wigan. Huddersfield in particular could really do with a point or all 3 in this one. Currently 23rd in the Championship, only 4 points from their opening 7 matches. Listen, there was a huge stroke of misfortune from that goal not being given against Blackpool, but still the overall performance left a lot to be desired from Huddersfield. I think this one will be quite a tricky game as well. Wigan have bounced back really quite well from Burnley, putting 5 goals past them. They had that decent 1-1 draw with West Brom, and then that great second half shown against Luton to go ahead and turn that one around. All 4 of Huddersfield's points have come in home matches so far this season, though. I think they may just sneak a point from this one, but they need to start picking up wins from somewhere. My prediction for this one, 1-1 draw, I'm saying, between these two. Next then we head to Hull up against Stoke. Stoke, with them having that game obviously postponed over the weekend, gives Alex Neil a little bit more time, I suppose, on the training pitch to go ahead and work with this group of players. But I actually think that that home game they would have had against Luton would have been potentially a decent way to have gone ahead and bounced back. I certainly think that they'll be looking to take full advantage of those home fixtures, and now they've got a couple of away games back to back. This one against Hull I do see as quite tricky. I know that Hull have lost their last 2, having only scored 1 goal across both of those matches, but they do bring a goal threat, especially into these types of matches against this Stoke side who defensively I think are lacking quite a bit of confidence. I think that was, evident in their game against Reading. I think I may see Hull bouncing back in this one though. I just think at home they'll have that extra bit of goal threat and nouse about them in the final third. Score prediction, I'm going 2-1 Hull in this game. But yeah, Alex Neil could really do with a win there. Next day we head to the Riverside for Middlesbrough up against Cardiff. I mentioned in my weekend preview to the games that didn't go ahead, Middlesbrough could potentially use that 1-0 against Sunderland as a bit of a springboard to get their season up and going. We have had a few of those sort of false dawns with Middlesbrough so far, but it does feel as if sooner rather than later they will start to climb those positions in the league table, and I think that this is a decent opportunity to go ahead and do so against a Cardiff side who, don't get me wrong, there have been promising elements of their performances and they've still got Callum Robinson to go ahead and fully integrate within this squad, but goals have been a real problem for them so far this season, particularly on the road. As of recording right now, they've only scored 1 away goal across their first 4 away matches, and for that reason, having that little bit more in the final third, I'm going to go for Borough in this game. 1-0 Borough, I'm saying. Don't think there'll be much in it though. Next then we head to the Liberty for Swansea up against Sheffield United. Sheffield United riding high at the top of the Championship as things stand, and they are just looking like a well-oiled machine. They'll be hoping that the weekend's postponements won't have thrown off their momentum or anything like that, but winning 4 of the last 5, plenty of clean sheets and plenty of goals scored in that time as well. It's an interesting time to play Swansea because they have shown themselves to be a little bit more adaptable across their last couple of matches, and I certainly think that they'll need to bring that adaptability into a game like this if they are going to go back to that fully possession orientated brand of football. There cannot be any slip-ups or mishaps in the defensive areas, because Sheffield United will absolutely take full advantage of those mistakes. Score prediction time. I think it is Sheffield United who I am fancying for this one. 2-0 to the Blades is my score prediction for this game. Next up then to Deepdale for Preston up against Burnley. Preston's unbeaten start to the season, coming into an end last weekend, and also our 100% clean sheet record as well, with Birmingham beating us by 1-0. We have had a little bit of time to reflect on our performance since then, but I think we're going to have to be absolutely right on the money if we're going to get something from this game against Burnley. With how ridiculously tight all of Preston's matches have been so far this season, in terms of us being quite stingy both in front of goal and defensively as well, it does feel as if there will come a point in the season where something's going to absolutely explode into life in one of Preston's matches, and that could either be with several goals going against us or several goals going for us. And I am a little bit fearful with how many goals are currently within this Burnley squad, you know, having different players from all over the pitch who can score a couple of goals. I am fearful that Burnley could open the floodgates in this one. Obviously they've had two thrilling Northwest derbies so far this season against Wigan and Blackpool. I've just got a feeling that Burnley are going to edge this one. 2-1 Burnley is what I'm realistically saying as my score prediction for this one, but I hope that North End are fired up for this game, I really do. Next then we head to Kenilworth Road for the Wednesday games. We've got Luton going up against Coventry. Now Luton will be more than keen to get that Wigan game out of their systems after how that game got away from them in the second half, and this is a decent opportunity, I'd say, to go ahead and do so at home to a Coventry side who have struggled to get off the mark with their first win of the season so far. The problem that Coventry have is, you know, the more games that get postponed, the further behind they fall in terms of having to catch up with games, and their fixture schedule and their pile up of rearranged matches towards the end of the season is only going to get more dramatic for Coventry. For a prediction in this game, I'm going to go with Luton. 2-0 Luton, I'm saying, for this one, but Coventry could desperately do with a win there, couldn't they? Next then we head to the Den for Millwall up against QPR. Generally speaking, Millwall have been decent at the Den so far this season. 3 wins from the 4 matches that they've had there, obviously 2-0 against Cardiff last time out. They did have that loss against Reading in there as well, but I think there'll be quite a tightly contested game here between these two. QPR, who have been a little bit up and down themselves on the road, obviously. Before we had this break in play, they had that 1-0 loss away at Swansea. Before that they had a great showing against Hull when they put 3 goals past them, and before that obviously had that great game away at Watford as well. A draw wouldn't surprise me in this game, but with that home advantage, I'm just going to side with Millwall ever so slightly. 2-1 Millwall is my prediction for this game here, but another tight one I see between those two. Next then we head to Carrow Road for Norwich up against Bristol City, two of the most informed sides in the league meeting each other in this one here. And I'm not going to lie, part of me was relieved that that game for Preston at the weekend was postponed against Bristol City, because they're on such a hot streak at the moment. They are the league's top scorers, 3 goals they put past Blackburn last time, and unbeaten in 6 matches now. Going up against this Norwich side will really be a test of their character and where this Bristol City side is actually at this point in time. Norwich, who have been absolutely flying up the league all the way up in second at the moment, having won each of their last 5 matches. I think there'll be goals in this game. I think I'm just going to side with Norwich with that home advantage and maybe a little bit more reliability, but this Bristol City unbeaten run's been really impressive, and if they do get something from this game, maybe people will start really taking them seriously as the real deal this season. But score prediction from me, 2-1 Norwich. I think they'll just edge it. After that, for Rotherham up against Blackpool, another game where I don't see all too much being in it between these two sides. Rotherham, great home record so far this season, yet to lose any of their 4 opening home matches. Thought they bounced back from that defeat against Sunderland really quite well last time out as well, with that really solid point against Watford. And going up against this Blackpool side, who, to be fair to them, have travelled well on the road so far this season. A couple of wins, obviously that one against Huddersfield last time out, that dramatic comeback against Burnley to add into the mix as well. It wasn't their finest performance against Huddersfield, but they grinded out that result, and even with all the controversy that went along with that game, they were probably the better side in that one. Score prediction for this game, I think it'll be quite tight. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between these two. After that, we head to Reading up against Sunderland, and I have to admit, you'd be a foolish person at the moment to back against Reading playing at home. 4 games played at the Select Car Leasing Stadium and 4 wins for Reading this season. Obviously, one before the postponements was against Stoke. Lucas Jowl back fully fit and firing a brace for him in that game. And even if Reading aren't at 100%, when you've got a striker as good as Lucas Jowl up front, he's absolutely capable of being that game changer week in, week out. From Sunderland's perspective, obviously the loss of Ross Stewart does significantly harm them in the attacking third, but I still think there's plenty to like about this Sunderland squad. Still very much in the early days of Tony Mowbray though, and how he would like to transition this side and perhaps towards his new style of football. For a prediction in this one, I think I'm going to have to bank on Reading. Their home form's just been so strong this season. Prediction for this one, I'm saying 2-1 Reading, but a draw wouldn't massively surprise me there. And then last up for the midweek fixtures, we've got West Brom going up against Birmingham. West Brom just need to get out of this rut of drawing football matches at the moment. 8 games played, 6 draws so far, which is absolutely crazy. I'm expecting another fairly tight game in here. Obviously, I got to see Birmingham up close and personal at the weekend before when they came to Preston. I thought it was a decent away performance, to be completely honest. Chong adding that little bit more creativity, and defensively they look quite well set up for that game as well. West Brom, as they were last season, continuing to create chances, but at times just been a little bit too wasteful. We did see that dramatic late equaliser last time against Burnley out of the Hawthorns. I think with that extra bit of firepower, I'm just going to edge West Brom in this game, but a draw wouldn't surprise me whatsoever with how draw heavy they've actually been this season. But prediction from me, 2-1 West Brom. I think they'll just edge this one. There we have it though, guys. Those are my score predictions heading into the midweek matches. As always, I want to get your take on everything that is going on in the Championship in the comments down below. Thanks very much for tuning in to today's video though, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.